Just over here on the quad, and I'm walking through my fields just checking them while I'm starting to get hit with hailstones here now at the minute. It is Monday, the phone out 24th of April. It definitely doesn't feel it. It feels like around about the 2nd or 3rd of January. That's what it feels like. But I'm just walking down through this field here. This is our meadow, and you can probably see the little lines of the quad. We put fertilizer on this about a week and a half ago, and it is starting to change slightly in colour. It's got a reddish gleam to it over there. That's just purely down to it being wet. I don't know if you can hear that, but it is absolutely soaking this field. That's unfortunate because this field hasn't been grazed this year. Now, normally any other year it would be grazed now about 3 times, and we probably would have had slurry on it about twice. We were just lucky to be able to have the quad and the spreader to come in here and put fertilizer on it, because there wouldn't have been a hope of bringing a tractor in here. You might go the odd spot, but yeah, it would have been very, very tricky. Anyway, I'm going to leave the gate open. I am going to put a fence across it and leave it ready, and hoping in a few days time, I don't know, we might get something that might dry the land up a wee bit. Well, there it is. There's the fence. Not very straight fence. Jesus, where did I go with that? But it's up, and hopefully in a few days they might be fit to get in here. Hands are literally in pain. They're that cold from holding on to wet pegs and stuff. Jesus, it's just very unusual. That's what it is. I'm not going to say any more about it. Just to move over here a wee bit, I am going to put the cows in here tomorrow. This is the field that I refer to as our mould drain field, and I told you before why I refer to it as that. One of the best things my father ever done was to mould drain this field. I just about remember it being done, but it left this field that is as dry as a bone. Well, it's dryish. The top of it's very wet at the moment because of this. Yeah, I'm not going to say it, but it's the driest field that we have. We have a hell of a lot of Dawkins this year. That is unusual. Real big comeback on Dawkins. You can see them here. And this field, I think, was sprayed. It was sprayed last year. So we're going to have to hit them hard this year whenever we get a chance to do them. May is always a good time to hit the Dawkins. I always find you get a better kill, but you need a real good growing type of weather to kill them down to the root. This field you're looking at here was grazed the last week in February, and that's all the grass that's on it. Don't be deceived, there's grass around the bottom of it, but if I go up here a wee bit, there's not much grass. And this got a lovely coat of slurry with the dribble bar and everything, and it didn't even change colour. It actually is starting to go more yellow than anything. It has got fertiliser a week and a half ago, the same as when our meadow got it, and that hasn't shown any effect yet either. It's just way too cold. I'm going to give them the whole field in here. It's normally way too much for them, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to let them have it all so they don't tramp too much, and I'll give them the far side the next day, and then we'll come back and I'll look at to see what this field is like at that time. Just as I'm heading home, do you remember last year this field got a hell of a tearing up, but I came in here with the tine harrow. I overseeded it, harrowed it in, rolled it. This was the result. You can definitely see, again, camera's a funny thing, especially when the weather's dull, but that post, if you can see it in the hedge over to where I'm looking here, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but that's where I would have seeded down to. And you can definitely see, look at the bunch of grass that's grown there, and look how thick it is compared to down here. So I was really pleased with that way that came out. I just thought I'd come back to it. I like to come back to stuff when I think of it and just show you the results, because it's all well and good showing you these things in camera, but if you don't come back to them after a while, it really defeats the purpose. I like to see an end result. Showing the thing being done is great, but showing an end result, that's when you kind of really know whether it's worth doing or not. Well, just running supplies this morning. It's one of those days kind of out of everything. I'm getting my calf nuts in bulk because we're going through a hell of a lot of bags this last while. Calves are eating an awful lot more as well, which is a good thing. I like to see them eat plenty of meal. So it's time now to start buying it in bulk. It's a wee bit cheaper as well to buy it in bulk. So we have this bin full. This should do us for a wee while and save us having to run up and down so much. It also, well, it keeps it out of harm's way from rodents and things, because you'll always get mice and rats and things that'll dig at bags. Hasn't been too bad so far. We do try our best to keep them under control, but they're always about. And when you have it to bin like this, sealed, just the thing handy, sealed, and doesn't encourage them to hang about as much. Alright, so that's to keep them happy for a while. Next job, straw. It's the next day and I'm over here to do a bit of fencing. I'm just actually going to go around and check the fences. Now we're away on the other farm here. This is the out farm. These are the paddocks you probably don't see too often. If you remember our last video when we were talking about where the tractor kind of slipped on the silage ground, or where we were talking about the wee bit of a waste area but putting in trees or wildflowers, well, this is the lower paddock to that, going down to the road, which is there. You can see there's any amount of grass. There's actually a lot of head has come on this grass. It's just a strange old time of year, but our silage ground, on the other hand, the other side is growing quite well. Patchy, very patchy. Good in some spots, not so good in others. But then we are only 2 days of the 1st of May, 3 days of the 1st of May. So they want to be doing something. So hopefully it will come good. It has a awful lot to do in the next month, that's for sure. But today is the first day where it's actually humid. It's really humid. But anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to replace these white tapes. Now the electric fence is off, I think, at the minute. Yeah, it's off. So I'm going to replace this white tape with this other stuff that I have here that I've been using. Just that elasticy kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to replace that, and we're going to go around then. I know there's posts I need to tighten and fix up. So let's get straight into that. This is definitely a spot here. There's our posts. As you can see, it's been laying there all winter. And you can also see she's a lot shorter than she was when she went in. What happens here regular over the winter time is we get a lot of deer. Deer will run through fences and everything, and that combined with posts that aren't in terribly great condition, they just run through the wire before they see it. They jump over it, cast their foot on it, and they break the post. I need to actually put 2 posts in here because it's a little bit awkward. It's got a bit of a crown to it, so the normal gap that I put, about 7 meters or so between each post, isn't good enough. So I'm going to put 2 posts in here in that place, and that'll keep the wire up of the ground higher, because just that kind of an old bowl shape leaves it that even you put one in the middle, it's still going to be too low to the ground. Now here's a good one for you. Any of you's got something on your farm that was put to a use that was never actually designed for? Well, this is one of ours. Probably watering it at the minute. No, it's empty. But this is one of ours. I'm not going to tell you what it's off. You guys can guess yourself. Some of you that are farming maybe 30, 40 years ago will probably know what it was. Maybe 40, 50 years ago will know exactly what it was, because you see plenty of them. We had 5 of them. That's a good clue. One of which I think my brother still has. I don't know where the other 3 went. I think they were that badly bent they were unsavable. But I've been using this as a crowbar for the past, well, I can't say just me. My father's been using it before me. We have this about, I'd say, a good 40 years used as a crowbar, that is. Well, I immediately don't like them posts. I immediately don't like them. They seem to be well enough treated, but they shatter way too easy. One wee whack with the sledgehammer there and the thing just broke apart on the top. I'm going to take a wee nick at the top of it anyway. It is in the ground enough, but at the same time, yeah, I've often seen myself driving them posts. The other ones are there. You could hit them a rap and they wouldn't do that. Them there just seem to want to shatter. I'll put something on top of that to protect it. Otherwise than that, should do for another year. Now we get into this little corner here, which is only beside where we were. And you can see this old bush down on top of it here. It's down on top of the electric wire and the barbed wire. And you can also see there's 2 new posts that are in from last year, because another 3 fell in the very same spot last year and done the very same thing. So it seems to be a nice spot for this. So I'm going to cut this up. I didn't bring, or did I? I brought my chainsaw. Yeah, it's there. I bought this little trimmer, but I didn't bring my face shield and protection goggles. But I'm just thinking now, I did bring a helmet, and you know what? Do the job. Right, so that's the wire all fixed up. I put another post in there. I used the old post, which wasn't rotten, it was just a bit loose, to prop that one out. Keep it out. There's a big hole there, so there is an awkward spot, so I have to keep it kind of out from that. Our wire is all tensioned up there, up to German torque, which is good and tight. That stuff's just rotten. As you can see, it's practically all ivy. Ivy destroys a lot of stuff. You can see there the trees are just completely smothered in it. Makes the trees top heavy and then the topple over. It's everywhere here, there's nothing you can really do about it. But that's it, that's cleaned up. On the next section. There's another brittle post in. Very, very brittle. I've never seen that post before. Look at, just breaking off. It's the way the grain is as well. Anyway, you might ask why there's tape or second line here on this electric fence. There's no need for that. You're dead right to ask that. The only reason that's there is this is where we had our calves last year. And the wire is used just so the calves see it and don't go underneath it, because smaller calves can go under that wire. Our bigger heifers, not an issue. I'm going to take that down, but I'm going to leave them little hooks there, because they're always handy when that time comes again and you want to put calves or something in here. It's always handy just to hook a bit of tape that they can see physically with their eyes. And that's the reason that's there. I'm going to take it down now shortly. But you can see in this upper end, we have plenty of grass. There's no doubt about that. And the leaves are starting to come out on our lime trees, which is nice to see as well. I would like to think this is a bank holiday weekend. Today is Friday. I'll have this video edited for you on Sunday. So I'm hoping that we might be able to put our heifers out, our big heifers out here on Monday. The only reason they're not out long ago, and they wouldn't tramp this ground because this ground is dry, this side of it is anyway, is the fact that we're just waiting to serve as many of them as we can when they're in the shed. It's just lovely and handy to do it when they're there. And when we have a certain amount of them done that we want to get done, we'll put them out then. It saves me a lot of work in the long run having to put them in and out to the crush to do them that way, because we're not running a stock bull with them. We have a good few done now, and we have another one done there this morning as well. So I'd say on Monday, regardless, on Monday they're going out, because I don't want to be drawing more silage over to them anymore. We're getting into the 1st of May on Monday, and I want to be finished with that kind of yard work. It's every May bank holiday, that's when we put our calves out. And if it stays mild like this, we'll be fit to do that. So we'll keep an eye on it for the next couple of days, and hopefully if the weather does stay good, we'll get our calves out in the next few days as well. And that will be such a weight off my shoulders, and they'll do much better for it as well. So there's all them replaced there, and I moved that tape going down the field as well. It's all gone now. Anyway, this bit of wire here, I almost forgot about it. Look at the colour of that water. I have to empty all the drinkers. That'll be a very important thing, because God knows what has been drinking out of that over the winter time. But this wire broke last year. It's only now when I'm over I remember it. And yeah, she's well patched here. I'll go back there a bit and put a joiner on it and replace it there, and pull a brand new piece of wire the whole way through that. And actually, I can see there I'm going to have to do a bit of work to that, because the insulator has grew into the tree. So there's a good chance this wire is touching the tree, and that's going to help the electric fence an awful lot. Well, that's that done anyway. That's a new piece of wire in the whole way around. We've done away with that completely on the tree. I just put 2 of those in. It's not under a massive strain or anything, and that'll definitely hold it. When I was at home and seen that roll of wire sitting, and it's been sitting in the one place for a long time, I wondered why I'd never used it. But now, as soon as I started to use it, I remember why. It's the most ignorant stuff you could ever put your hand on. You couldn't bend it to save your life. It's just hard stuff to work with. Dead on in some scenarios, but for doing this kind of stuff here, Jesus, it's hard to work with. And I should have brought a pair of vice grips with me as well, which would have made the thing an awful lot easier. But look at, I brought the kitchen sink and I forgot the taps. I'm going to leave it there for this evening. It's 3 o'clock there now, and I've about another, oh, I see a big tree down there as well. Just when you look around, you see more stuff. I might get a chance to go down and saw that up now real quick before I go home. It's not a very big one. I have the chainsaw with me, so I might tackle into it, but I'm going to leave it there now for the day. I don't want this video getting too long. Tomorrow I will have to start work on the 7615. We have an error code popped up on it. I know what it is. I found out what it is, and I can fix it myself. I'll just have to take into it tomorrow and strip it down and fix that. And then my hope is this weekend, tomorrow being Saturday, to start slurry in tomorrow. Get some slurry out in some of the paddocks at home. It has dried. It rained a lot last night, which we didn't want, but it is drying a bit today, and hopefully if it continues the same until this time tomorrow, I'll be fit to mix a few tanks, because all our tanks now are nearly touching the slats. Every tank, bar this one. This one's empty, but I don't want to start drawing over slurry to here, because that's winter work. I want to get it on the fields to make it grow the grass. So tomorrow I'm hoping I get a few tanks out, get mixed and things. It's going to be a busy weekend, but it'd be nice to get a lot of them jobs kicked out of the way and get some sort of order in for this spring, because we are way behind. And like many of people, we are so far behind on our jobs. I still have the field to do, that little place down at the bog beside the cottage. I've all that to do yet. Jerry has come back with a track machine and taken to that. There's a pile of drainage work and stuff to be done there, and then get the thing ploughed and reseeded and fixed up and looking like it's gonna grow grass. I would have loved it had it been done by now. Grass had been starting to come out through it, but you couldn't walk it, never mind take a machine in. So it's gonna take a couple of weeks for that to dry up, and then I'll be on the blower to Jerry. If he's watching this, Jerry, I'll be ringing you very shortly. But anyway, I'm gonna horse on here. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Yeah, it's not that big. Boom.